audio podcast where I, your host, Christine, talk about anything and everything for an unnecessary amount of time. Today I'm not joined by my co-host, Janelle, because she has her own stuff to do. She has some band stuff going on, so I wish her the best of luck at that. So today's solo episode, it's this first official episode technically, because the first one that I posted was the pilot. We're trying to get a sense of where we're going, we're trying to get a sense. And did any of you leave comments? No, you didn't, so this is your fault. The main topic I wanted to talk about was movies, funny enough, because at this point, life is becoming a movie, and this is my villain arc. I'm just playing. But I want to talk about cinema, film, movies, etc., right? Because I'm very interested in it. And I actually found a really cool, little website, and it talks about, or it doesn't talk about, but it has, a list of, very early movies and early film and stuff like that. So yeah, I wanted to talk about movies. My personal favorite movie by genre, because you can't ask me, and I used to just say, oh, it's Coraline, which still stands. I love Coraline. But it depends on the genre, because if you ask me my favorite horror movie, it's gonna be completely different than if you ask me my favorite other kind of movie. I can't pick just one. I love movies and I love film, so I really can't just pick one. But I will say these early movies, they're pretty weird. Let me tell you, not show you guys, but let me explain to you guys what I'm looking at. So there's this website. It is called I swear, I can't read numbers. I always get, anyway, sorry. So this website is called Sala 46 Films International Sales Production and Production Company type thing, right? So they have this catalog of if you go to their homepage, let's go to their homepage, you can look at some of it looks kind of like a blog, but I don't really know what it is. But it says Sala 46 Films is a leading company in the international distribution of classic cinema, cult films, and archival titles. So this is very, I wouldn't want to say niche, but semi-niche, It says, our curated catalog features essential works from the 20th century and overlooked gems that deserve to be rediscovered. As an innovative startup, we used advanced technologies to restore and enhance each title while preserving its original essence, which I think is pretty cool. And the reason that I even found this was because I was doing a project for school, but I found their catalog, because at the top they have the home tab, the catalog, request a film, contact. So I pushed the catalog, and I found, and there's three little, there's a drop down, and it has Cinema Roots, Cult Corner, and Fresh Frames. So I clicked on Cinema Roots, which is the page I'm on right now. Sorry, when I talk a lot, I get the urge to yawn. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm boring you. I'm really sorry. Anyway, and I wanted to talk about a couple of these movies. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I have watched this one in particular, A Trip to the Moon by Georges Méliès. And yes, I probably butchered that, but it doesn't matter. Well, kind of. But anyway, A Trip to the Moon was a movie from 1902. So this was very, very, very early film. And is the movie... Okay, let's get a little bit into I guess semantics, right? Let's talk about subjectivity and objectivity, right? So subjectively, I think this movie's pretty good. Objectively, is it good? Probably not. Because objectively, this movie, especially by today's standards, seeing as what we have now in comparison to that, probably not very good. No one's gonna really want to watch that. I thought, and subjectively, it's pretty good. For me, I think it's more of seeing how we've progressed in film because I this movie wasn't very good. I also like I knew a little bit about the filmmaker, so I liked him. I thought he was cool, but the movie was not good. It's not that it wasn't good, it's just for the time that's what they had to work with. So objectively, it also has to do with time period and era and everything. So objectively, in the past, was this a good movie? Certainly. This was a very, very successful movie when it first came out. If someone were to produce this now and release it now, you're losing $1 million. Like you're losing money if you produced this now. Because that's the thing is like we can try, and it's like with film, you can try to go backwards, kind of like how we do with fashion. Like, you know, people bring back Y2K even though it's not really like authentic Y2K anyway. They kind of remix it. You can try to do that with film, but it's most likely not going to work unless you really know what you're doing. It's interesting to see. But yeah, so this movie, I really liked it just because I thought it was funny. If you guys have never seen it, pretty much a simple synopsis is these astronomers, they want to go to the moon, so they build a rocket and they go to the moon, and there's like, it's just what they at that time thought the moon was like. Because, mind you, this was 1902, and to my knowledge, we had not hit the moon yet. We were not there. We didn't go to the moon yet. I don't actually know when the moon landing supposedly happened. Let's ask Alexa. Alexa, when did the moon landing happen?
Apollo 11, the first manned mission to land on the moon, landed on July 20th, 1969.
69.
During this mission, American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became, respectively, the first two men to walk on the moon. The last manned mission...
Okay, Alexa, stop, please. Thank you. She doesn't stop talking. Anyway, so yeah, the moon landing didn't happen until like decades later. So this is what they thought the moon was like. It was not how the moon actually is, or what. Also, that's one thing that maybe I want to talk about. Do y'all believe the moon landing happened? I think it did. I don't see why we would need to lie about that. I mean, I guess. But also, a lot of people are like, oh, it never happened. And I was like, wouldn't we know if that never happened, though? Like, I'm pretty sure we were competing with, like, Russia or something to get to the moon first. Like, and also, I don't really understand. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. But, like, to me, it doesn't. Because they're like, well, we can't go back to the moon. And I'm like, well, why? Like, we did it once, we can go again. And then they're like, well, we don't have the same technology. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, just rebuild it. But I think it's just like, to use like an adjective, it's like trying to do something advanced now. Like trying to play Minecraft on like an old freaking computer. Like
oh brother, this guy stinks.
The software is just so outdated that you can rebuild it, but it's not gonna work because it's old. You know, it's just it's not gonna work. It's not as advanced, and that's just what worked at the time. So I think we just need I think that's what that means. I don't know if that analogy even made sense. I really don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it could also just be like,
nope.
At some point, these things just don't work. It's like when people go and they're like, oh, I want to get a flip phone. And then they get a flip phone and it just doesn't really work. Because the software is like outdated. Like we can rebuild that, but it's not going to work very well. So I guess that's what it is. I don't know if that even made sense. Anyway, that's besides the point. That's not even what the topic was. Another movie that I watched that's on this page is The Great Train Robbery by Edwin S. Porter in 1903. That movie, I didn't like it, but again, for the time, this was probably amazing. This was like so cool. Like, this was like their, let me think. I don't know, this was like their cool westerns that they had. Like, this was super cool cinema at the time. Did I like it? No, not really. It's similar to A Trip to the Moon. It's just they don't talk. It's just you see them doing these things and that's it. It's not even like silent film like Nosferatu where it's like there's text on the screen so you read it. It's just nothing. It's like basically watching, it's like if you watched a play but they don't talk. And there's just like music in the background. Like calliope music or something. Well, I don't know about calliope music, but same thing. Kind of weird. But then we move to 1920, and that is when this movie, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, came out. This I've tried to watch like 2 or 3 times, but conveniently I decide to watch this when I'm like going to sleep, so I never finished. But it does look very interesting. It is a horror film, one of the first psychological horror films, because a quick synopsis of this was that this like psychotic or like insane is what they describe him as. This like hypnotist, like this hypnotist, what's the word? I'm not doing this on purpose, I swear. Hypnotizes. I don't know why I buffered. I had a brain fart, my bad. So this hypnotist hypnotizes. That's what I'm getting confused about. Anyway, he puts him in a trance. Let's put it that way. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Okay, this hypnotist puts this guy in a trance who's like a sleepwalker, right? He puts him into a trance and he controls him so that he can commit murders. So it's like a kind of cool, well, not cool because it's kind of crazy concept, but it's like a cool like first psychological horror film that I had never heard of it before I was doing this project, but it does look very interesting. So if you guys would like to watch it, I'm pretty sure, where can I watch this? I'm pretty sure you can watch it on like YouTube or something, or even go to like an archives website. Just go to YouTube and look it up. I'm pretty sure that's where I was watching this. It's called The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920. We're gonna move past that one, and I want to go to Nosferatu. Nosferatu came out in the 20s. It came out 2 years after the last movie. It came out in 1922. And Nosferatu is kind of crazy. I have watched Nosferatu, and I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was cool. Like an actual silent film, so it's not like the other ones where there's no text. This one actually has like Charlie Chaplin, how that was. It's like it's like them doing stuff, and then when they're talking, it's like it displays what they're saying on the screen, which I think is pretty cool. She keeps doing that. Willow, come here. Come here. Come here. What's wrong? Anyway, yeah, I would want to rewatch this just to dissect it a little more, because it's interesting. It's kind of crazy. I have actually not watched the new one that came out. I don't know if I want to. I've heard mixed opinions about it. Some people say, oh, it's bad, it's not good. Some people say it's really, really good. So I don't really know. But I would rewatch the 19. If you have never watched it, I would give it a watch. Even if you don't like it, just watch it. And then these are some that I've never heard of. There was this movie called Safety Last by Fred C. Newmeyer and Sam Taylor from 1923. I've never seen this. This looks probably more like a comedy. Oh yeah, it is a see, I was right. It's a silent film, it's a comedy. And it says, a small town boy, Harold Lloyd, moves to the big city to make a name for himself, hoping to marry his sweetheart, Mildred Davis, once he becomes successful. Cool. So, and then we have this movie by, I don't know how to say that, Ziga Vertov this is who directed it. It's called Kino Eye, in 1924. It says it is a cinematographic poem that lays the foundation of the Kino Eye principles, showcasing the invisible force of its theories. I don't know about y'all, but I've never heard of that. So I'll have to watch that. Maybe I'll let y'all know when I watch it. And then there's also The Thief of Baghdad by Raoul Walsh, from 1924. The last movie was also from 1924. This says, it's an epic silent adventure film. A clever and roguish thief named Ahmed vies for the hand of the beautiful princess to win her love. He embarks on an adventure to retrieve the rarest treasures from distant lands, competing against other suitors. Interesting. That's really cool. I wonder if that kind of sounds similar to Aladdin. I wonder if that's where... Let's look this up. Now I'm curious. Was Aladdin based... off of The Thief of Baghdad? Because it sounds similar. Oh, okay, it was. It was heavily influenced by the 1940... Wait, what? Oh, it says, this is the AI overview. I'm not going to read that. I don't trust it all the time. This is the Wikipedia. Take it with a grain of salt. For example, the Disney film Aladdin borrows freely from it. Okay, anyway, so yes, it was kind of based off of, or similar, like, inspiration from The Thief of Baghdad. I was like, this sounds very much like Aladdin. I want to watch that. I might watch it. Battleship Potemkin by Sergei Eisenstein from 25. This seems like a war movie or something. Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ, Fred Niblo from 1925. It's an epic. It seems like a religious epic. Yeah, it has to do with like Jesus Christ and a Jewish prince. I don't know. It's a religious epic though. And then we have Phantom of the Opera, which I have heard of, but I didn't know that this was like an old thing. I thought that it was the one with Emmy Rossum and the one with Emmy Rossum in it. And I have not watched that. I need to watch both. And that came out in 1925 as well. A lot of these movies came out in like I feel like 1925 was like when cinema became very popular or even maybe mainstream. Perhaps. I don't know. We have Seven Chances by Buster Keaton from 1925. This is a slapstick comedy. And in case y'all don't know what slapstick means, because I know what it means, but I forgot what it means. Slapstick is a style of humor characterized by exaggerated physical activity. So intentional violence or just being stupid. And then we have a variety. I don't know how you say this. I'm gonna put the thing up here. It's a German silent drama. It tells the story of Boss Huller, a trapeze artist who abandons his wife and child for a passionate affair with a... I need to watch this. That's crazy. That's freaking crazy. Wow, that's why he's a trapeze artist. He's for the ropes, for real. He's for the circus. The Lost World. I have heard of this. I have not watched it though. The Lost World, Harry O. Hoyt, in 25. Of course. If it's not one thing, it's the next. It's a freaking plane flying. I swear this plane's flying over the same spot. We'll wait. We will wait. Anyway, that was like unnecessarily long that was being loud for. Anyway, so yeah, this is like the dinosaur movie. I'm sure you guys have seen like clips of it. I've never actually watched it though. So yeah, there's a lot of movies that I have not watched, and a lot of them are like not necessarily black and white, but like some of them are black and white. Some of them are like colored, but very poorly colored. Like A Trip to the Moon, if you watch the colored one, not good. It's very badly colored. It's because they did this on film. So they had to individually like paint and color each little spot or every single frame. And it's really bad. It's very bad. But so I have animation now. So yeah. And then I wanted to talk about genre, because my favorite genre is horror. I've always really liked horror movies. I like romance movies, but I'm very particular about them. I don't love most rom-coms just because I'm like, they're so stupid. They're so dumb. But I do like comedies. I like action movies, romance movies. I especially love horror and thrillers. Specifically psychological horror. I like slashers, but I'm not like the biggest fan of them. I like psychological horror and just psychological thrillers, psychological drama. I love psychological film, you know? There's a movie called The Perfection that I really, really like. There's, what else? There's, Carrie. Carrie's really good. It's kind of a cool blend of like psychological and supernatural. And I think it's really, really cool. Matter of fact, I have my presentation downloaded on here, I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at it, because there was a couple. The Shining. I know some of you guys are, that's a slasher. No, it's not. I don't think it is. It's like it's like a cool blend of like supernatural, psychological, and like some slasher thriller, you know? I really like them. There's also this movie that I've never watched, but I put it in my presentation. It's called Le Manoir du Diable. And it's a French film by that guy, Georges Méliès. Or George Méliès. I just like to be quirky and different. I'm just kidding. And that one's older than the other movie I was talking about, The Trip to the Moon. This one is from 1896. Wild. That's insane. Goodness. Also, I love, maybe not him as a person, because I've heard some pretty weird things about him, but I love his work, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. Dude, my favorite, and I haven't read a whole lot of stuff by it, but I can just tell you, I have read The Telltale Heart. There was, what's it called? The Cask of Amontillado. The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. That one's pretty crazy. I don't fully remember it, but I do remember it being pretty interesting. Oh, it tells me right here. So, pretty much, I think this guy convinces this other guy to go down into, like, a wine cellar with him, where he kills him. I'm telling you, this is... I swear, I tune it out, but then I'm like, y'all can hear it. Y'all can hear this fat freaking plane just... over my house specifically. Like, bro, just tell me you hate me. Just tell me, okay? Like, bro, there's no reason for this. No reason at all. But yeah. So yeah, bro killed him. And then my favorite has to be the Telltale Heart, because it's such a nice portrayal of guilt, and oh, I love it. The way this guy, like, obviously not a great person from what I've heard, whether these things are true or not. It's kind of, I don't really know. I don't know much about. Obviously, the dude's dead. I don't know. Sorry, but he has such a way with words that he can describe these things. Matter of fact, let me read some of this to you guys. The Telltale Heart. This should be a whole episode in itself, because I could talk about this for a while. I'm not gonna go too in depth, but I'll tell y'all this little part, right? So he pretty much what happens in this is that this guy, we'll just say it's Edgar Allan Poe. So he meets this old man, and he's very weirded out by his eye, and it creeps him out because it's just, he always thinks he's looking at him or like whatever, right? So he's just very creeped out by the eye, and it drives him nuts, and he kills him, and he hides his body, I think, under the floorboards in a room in this house that I guess they're in. I don't know. And the police come to do, I'm assuming, a welfare check. I don't fully remember, but they come to like check in and be like, hey, what's going on? And I don't think they were even there for that, for like him potentially being a suspect for murder. I think that they were just there for whatever reason. And the amount of guilt he had, he started to drive himself insane, to the point where he started to hear the old man's heartbeat under the floorboards, thinking that the guy was still alive. And he starts freaking out, and he's just like, he's driving himself nuts. He's thinking that this man's heart is still actually beating, and it's beating so loud that the cops can hear it. So he starts freaking out, and he ends up just giving it up and saying like, yeah, he's dead. He's under the floorboards. And he like, I think he pulls him out and he's like, here. And then he goes to jail for life, I think. Yeah. I need to... This is going to be another episode just on its own. Matter of fact, the next episode, hopefully Janelle's on it. Me and her are just going to talk about Edgar Allan Poe. Because this guy, probably not a good person, but his stuff was great. I can't deny that. But yeah. And then another person that I mentioned in my presentation was H.P. Lovecraft. I haven't read anything by him, I don't think, but his stuff does, apparently he was also very heavily influenced by Poe, so yeah, I'll have to read some of his stuff and then hopefully bring that up on the next episode. We have Carrie, The Shining. Get Out! Get Out! Get Out is so crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, Get Out. If you've never watched it, please watch it. It's so crazy because everything you think is going on is, I don't really know, like your mind just goes a million places during this movie and you're just like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? And then also there's so much like psychological themes in this movie, like hypnosis. What are you talking about? And also because I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh, there's no way. There's actually no way. But yeah, there's a way. There's a way. Midsummer. One of my favorite kind of psychological horror movies. This is wild. It's so crazy. Because I watched it by myself, right? Probably shouldn't have, because I was left to think about it and I was just like, wow. And also, like, when you watch movies with someone else, you can kind of bounce your ideas off of somebody else, and like, also you can confirm whether what you're seeing on the screen is what you're seeing is like what's actually happening, because there's some parts in the movie where the background's like warping, and at first you kind of look and you're just like, oh, and then you kind of gotta look away and you're like, is that what's actually happening, or am I freaking out? And it's so crazy the effect that it not only had, like, not only are there like themes in the movie with the characters, but it's also like it comes through the screen to the viewer. It's kind of crazy. I really liked this movie. Definitely watch it if you can. Yeah, I love psychological horror. It's my favorite genre. That's why I did my presentation on it for one of my classes at school. But yeah, it's so good. I love psychological horror. Also, another good kind of psychological, not horror, but drama, I guess, or like thriller, The Butterfly Effect. I just really like movies like that. That just, they really like, it's not a linear timeline, you know? It's like the timeline's like all over the place. It's not linear. It's not just one straight line. It's all over the place. And that's another reason. And I liked Donnie Darko for that same reason, because it's kind of like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, this is weird. And it leaves you with a lot of questions, but also it's so fun to like go after the movie and like go watch like film analysis, because it gives you that like feeling of like satisfaction. You're just like, oh, that's what that was. I don't know. I just love The Butterfly Effect. Was so good. Shout out Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, I love that movie. But yeah, genre. It's really about genre, because I'm not a huge fan of action. I don't hate watching action films. I like it. It's just like not my favorite. Like, I wouldn't go and be like, oh guys, let's go watch like the Batman, like a new Batman movie or something. Like, I'd watch it, like if that's what everybody else wanted to watch. Like, I'd go. I don't mind it, but it's not like not my first choice. Like, if I'm like, hey guys, y'all want to go to the movie, and they're like, yeah, what movie? I'm picking a horror movie if they have it, and then whatever else is there are my next choices, because I just love it. And that's why I'm taking a class at school for horror film appreciation. And it's really interesting. It's really cool. But yeah, I would certainly recommend some of those movies. Especially Midsummer and Get Out. Those are some very, 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 very good like horror or thrillers from like now, or like not now, but like within more recent years. Within the last decade, I should say. One movie that I did put on here that may not resonate with some people as psychological horror was Paranormal Activity. And now you're probably thinking, you're stupid, because why did you put that on there? There's a reason for it. There's a reason I put Paranormal Activity. And yes, the title literally says paranormal. It's supposed to be supernatural and like, you know, otherworldly, scary stuff. But the reason that I said this is because there's a lot going on upstairs for these characters. For example, in the first movie, she kind of like denies it all. She's just like, that's not happening. Get that stuff out of my house. And then she loses it. And then she's evil. I think she gets possessed. But still, it's kind of like, it's kind of the same thing. And also the effect it has on the audience, because I was watching some film analyses like a while back, and there's a movie called Creep. I don't know if you guys have ever watched it. It's pretty interesting. I personally really love the Creep movies. But in this like film analysis or like commentary, this guy, he pretty much describes the feeling that found footage horror films give you, and it's the same feeling of like claustrophobia. And I couldn't agree more, because it's kind of like being in a confined space, because you're only seeing what they're showing you. Like it's so like point of view, and it's so like how Blair Witch, Creep, Paranormal Activity, you are only seeing what it's showing you. Like it's very finite where you're moving, you know. It's tough and it's kind of hard to explain, but it gives you the feeling of claustrophobia, and that's what I love about found footage horror. It's great. I really like it. But I love how versatile horror movies can be. Not that other genres can't be versatile, but I like how you can do a lot with a horror movie. And you can not only make like a scary monster, like scary, like for example, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like that one's like there's actual like, you know, like genuine like monsters, but also psychological horror is kind of like the monster can be a person. It can be like your own mind. And that's what I really like, how versatile horror and like subgenres of horror can be. I just love psychological horror. I could talk about it forever. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and end it. I've been talking for a minute. I need a nap. I'm just kidding. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully Janelle's on the next episode. I really hope we get to see her. But yeah. If y'all enjoyed, if you did, like, subscribe, comment what you want to see, and I'll see y'all next time. Deuces.